So, exactly a month after King of the Hill's new season came out, we would finally finish it by watching episode 10 tonight. So, of course, I want to share my opinion on it real quick. And okay, so first of all, I predicted in my video of episode 9 that I wouldn't like episode 10 as much as my favorite revival episode, episode 4. And after watching it, I can happily say that I was right. Not that I hated this episode or anything, but okay, let's be honest. At this point, would it really be a surprise if I were to have not found a King of the Hill revival episode that I hated? But yeah, as I was saying, I didn't hate this episode, but at the same time, I wouldn't call it like amazing or anything. I thought it was rather alright, like a decent season finale. I liked the main story of Hank, Peggy, Dale, and all of them starting their own business, and I especially liked how Buck Strickland was in this episode, because in my opinion, Buck is one of those cartoon characters who is a bad person, but is still a great character. So yeah, seeing him in this episode was cool. And as for the side story stuff, I thought the joke of John Redcorn giving out red corn was pretty funny. And speaking of John Redcorn, even though I'd actually already seen this before off of YouTube, I still thought that the Jonathan Joss tribute at the end was pretty cool. And here, I also enjoyed Bobby and Connie's plot, and in fact, I actually thought that it was more interesting than the main plot, at least because it was more memorable to me and easier to understand. I was intrigued by how they were talking about Bobby and Connie maybe not being able to understand each other as well as adults as they did when they were kids. And I also liked how there was one scene where they referenced one of my favorite holiday-themed episodes, 'twas The Nut Before Christmas, and Connie breaking her arm, which immediately reminded me of a few of my edits. And yeah, overall, not a bad way to wrap up season 14. Decent episode with good plot writing, especially with the side story stuff. And as a huge King of the Hill fan, I'm looking forward to seeing how they'll continue off from here next year, as well as seeing how my King of the Hill content will go, despite me having to put this series on hiatus for a bit. But yeah, in the meantime, episode 10, I'll give it a 3 out of 5 stars, and I'll also give this video an outro. So bye you guys, have a good night, and thanks for watching season 1 of my King of the Hill revival series.